everyone, Drizzerey here, and welcome to another time-lapse video. So this one is sort of a draw this again. The original drawing I did about 3 years ago for Inktober, and I find it actually rather interesting considering how the original tone of the drawing is versus how I decided to redraw it. And that is where our topic is going to be. So, in case it's not obvious, this is Hanzo from Blizzard's Overwatch game, and he is one of my favorite characters from Overwatch, and I happen to relate a lot to him. Have I killed my brother to preserve my family's honor? No. But I do struggle with guilt and a lot of other things that, you know, his character kind of insinuates that he also does. But that is also, the difference between canon, which is hardly there, and fanon, which there is a lot of fanon, including my own fanon. So we're gonna go with my fanon on this. So anyway, this picture that I redrew, I want to get this out of the way before I go back into the drawing. I accidentally didn't record the line work. And when I stopped the recording, I thought I was done. And so there's a little bit of a difference between when the recording finishes versus the final image. Yeah, I'm great at this. But anyway, the theme that I wanted to talk about that this image ended up being is, and I titled it as Growing. And so in the original image, this was young Hanzo with his dragons, and it was a really sad looking image. And then my redrawing is him with his casual skin. Well, casual skin. This is basically how I see Hanzo as being in the present, since that was leaked, or not leaked, but shown in the Reflections comic. And to me, that just shows that he has started to shed the skin of the once lord of the Shimada clan and is now more embracing of who he wants to be. And that's how I'm taking it. And that's how a lot of people have taken it. And that's why I really, really love this look for him, because it's just so startlingly different. And with what little canon is available, we can all make a sort of assumptions about that. And that's why I like using that skin more. Hi everybody, Drizzerey here, and I just wanted to comment while I was listening to my recording and discussing about what little lore there is. I forgot to, include that there is a bunch of new lore out in regards to a lot of the characters because of Overwatch 2. I would like to state for everyone that I'm not really going to regard that, because in this point, my being a fan of the characters and not that big a fan of Blizzard, I'm just going to stick with my fanon on that. You can check out my Twitter for my tweet in regards to the new lore that was being released. And now back to our show. But I realize in looking between the original drawing and this one, what that also implies for the Draw This Again, and how this actually could be just a continuation drawing. Because now he is different, now he is stronger, he is becoming who he wants to be. And that is kind of how I see me as an artist, especially when from the original drawing to now. Because when I originally drew that, I did not have a lot of confidence in my artwork. I was still struggling with, doing what I wanted to do, drawing what I wanted to draw, and making what I wanted to make. I kept, criticizing myself a lot. And that kind of was reflected in a lot of my artwork, especially concerning Hanzo, since I tend to project on him a lot more than any of the other characters, because I feel like I relate to him a lot. And in my old drawings of him, they tend to go on the more sad side, the more depressing stuff. I was looking at all of my old drawings trying to figure out something I wanted to do, and I had a lot of pictures that I was just like, I didn't ever finish them, or I didn't, really do them justice. I could find something in my sketchbooks that I wanted to do. And I can't, and I'm just looking at all of my old drawings of Hanzo, and I'm like, man, this is depressing. And then I look at the drawings I do now, and they are a lot more confident. I still do have some where I show him as struggling with his depression because, again, I feel like he reflects a lot of how I feel when I draw him, and that's because I project on him. It's the same thing with when I write stories that involve him and stuff like that. I just do, I can't help it. It's now ingrained. It's now part of me. If I draw Hanzo, if I write Hanzo, he's gonna get projected on it. So I am really, really, really happy with how this came out. This is actually one of my favorites. It's on my background because I really love how it came out. And I am really sad that I kind of botched the line art on the... I mean, I didn't botch the line art. I didn't record the line art. But this is definitely a good example of where I came from, how I am now. And if you've never done a Draw This Again and you are an artist and draw, please, I beg of you, give yourself that moment to draw something again, something that you remember liking or being proud of. Just try it again. As long as it's been like a year or more, you are going to see an amazing difference. And it is so cathartic to just see that difference. And if you're the kind of person that beats yourself up over, oh, this isn't good enough, my artwork is trash, that stuff. If you are really down on yourself for how your artwork is, you really need to cut yourself a break. Let yourself do bad art. Move on. Forgive yourself on it. And you know what? Try drawing again. If you think your art is that bad, draw something that you drew years ago. Draw it again. You will immediately see that, okay, I'm not that bad. And this is why I like recording my artwork, because I can look back at my old artwork and I can see the skill. But I do spend a lot of time, studying my own habits and stuff and studying my own artwork, that I found an appreciation for old me and how I did my artwork. And there's another video that I tried to make that never got finished because it was just heartbreaking and I didn't want to actually talk about it, but I might end up redoing that, and that might be one of the ones that I make of my old artwork, because that one also has a very similar message to this one, but this is over an artwork that was over the course of 8 years. And it didn't get finished until 8 years because of how mean I was to myself in my artwork. So that might be a future video. We shall see. I am getting to the end of this one, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Try Draw Yourself Again challenge, try Draw This Again challenge. It is worth it. It is great. I love doing these. I always love the image that comes after, and you'll notice I do it a lot. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please hit that like button. Thank you very much. If you have any questions or comments, please lay them on me. I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to support me, please check out my Patreon, my Ko-fi, or my Discord. Or if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can check out my social media. Links are all down in the description below. And if you want to see more, subscribe, and I promise you will see more. And I will catch you in the next video. Later!